Jenna had always dreamed of moving to San Francisco, the city where the Golden Gate Bridge meets the Pacific Ocean. She was finally able to make her dream come true after landing a job at a prestigious tech company. Jenna was ecstatic about starting her new life in the city and was determined to make the most of it. On her first day at work, Jenna met Eric, her new boss. He was tall, dark, and handsome, with piercing blue eyes that made her heart skip a beat. Jenna had always been a little shy, but something about Eric made her feel at ease. They quickly hit it off, and before they knew it, they were spending most of their time together. As they explored the city, Eric showed Jenna all of his favorite spots, from the top of Twin Peaks to the winding streets of Lombard Street. Jenna loved the way Eric's eyes lit up when he talked about his favorite places, and the way he always seemed to know just where to go to avoid the crowds. One afternoon, Eric surprised Jenna with a picnic in Golden Gate Park. They spread out a blanket and opened a bottle of wine as they watched the sun set over the city. As they talked and laughed, Jenna realized that she was falling for Eric. He was charming, intelligent, and funny, and she couldn't imagine spending her time in San Francisco with anyone else. Over the next few weeks, Eric and Jenna spent every moment they could together. They went on long walks through the city, visited the many museums and galleries, and tried out all of the best restaurants. They even took a day trip to wine country, where they sipped wine and watched the sun set over the rolling hills. One evening, Eric took Jenna to his favorite jazz club in North Beach. They listened to the music as they sipped on cocktails and danced the night away. As the night drew to a close, Eric leaned in and whispered in Jenna's ear, "I know we've only been together a short while, but I feel like I've known you forever. I love spending time with you, and I can't imagine my life without you in it." Jenna's heart skipped a beat as she looked into Eric's eyes. "I feel the same way," she said. "I can't imagine being anywhere else but here with you." As they left the club and walked through the quiet streets of North Beach, Eric took Jenna's hand and pulled her close. They stood in front of a small Italian restaurant, and Eric turned to Jenna with a smile. "I've got a surprise for you," he said. He led Jenna inside, and they were greeted by the warm smells of garlic and tomato sauce. They sat down at a small table in the corner and ordered a bottle of wine. As they talked and laughed, Eric reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. "I wanted to give you something to remember our time together in San Francisco," he said. Jenna's heart raced as she opened the box to find a delicate gold necklace with a small charm of the Golden Gate Bridge. She looked up at Eric with tears in her eyes. "It's beautiful," she said. "Thank you so much." They finished their dinner and walked back to Eric's apartment, hand in hand. As they climbed the stairs to his rooftop terrace, they were greeted by the most amazing view of the city. The lights of San Francisco twinkled below them and the stars shone overhead. As they stood there, wrapped in each other's arms, Eric leaned in and kissed Jenna. It was a soft, sweet kiss that made Jenna's heart race. She felt safe and happy in Eric's arms, and she knew that she had found someone special. Over the next few months, Jenna and Eric fell deeper in love. They spent Continue their days exploring the city, and their nights curled up together, watching movies and talking about their dreams for the future. One evening, Eric took Jenna on a surprise date to the San Francisco Symphony. They sat in the front row and listened as the music swept over them. As they left the concert hall, Eric took Jenna's hand and led her to a nearby park. There, he got down on one knee and pulled out a small box. "Jenna, I love you more than anything in this world," he said. "Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down Jenna's face as she nodded and said yes. Eric slipped a beautiful diamond ring onto her finger, and they hugged each other tightly. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, Eric said. Jenna felt like she was on top of the world. She couldn't believe how lucky she was to have found someone like Eric. She knew that they were meant to be together, and she was excited to start their lives together. Over the next few months, Jenna and Eric planned their wedding. They decided to get married in Golden Gate Park, surrounded by their closest friends and family. They spent long afternoons strolling through the park, picking out the perfect spot and planning all of the details. On their wedding day, the sun was shining and the birds were singing. Jenna walked down the aisle in a beautiful white dress, holding a bouquet of wildflowers. Eric stood at the end of the aisle, beaming with happiness. As they exchanged vows and rings, Jenna felt like her heart was bursting with love. She knew that Eric was the person she was meant to be with, and she was excited to spend the rest of her life with him. After the ceremony, they held a small reception in the park. They danced under the trees, ate delicious food, and toasted to their new life together. As the sun began to set over the city, Eric took Jenna's hand and led her to a nearby hill. There, they sat down and watched as the sun sank into the ocean. I can't believe we're married, Jenna said, snuggling into Eric's arms. I know, Eric said, it feels like a dream. They sat there for a long time, watching the sky turn from orange to pink to purple. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Eric leaned in and kissed Jenna. It was a soft, sweet kiss that made her heart race. I love you, he said. I love you too, Jenna replied, smiling. As they walked back to their apartment, hand in hand, Jenna felt like the luckiest woman in the world. She had everything she had ever wanted, and she knew that it was all thanks to Eric. Together, they would explore the city, build a life together, and create memories that would last a lifetime.